Okay, this is an exciting week. We have a listing that is pending, and the story behind it is so cool. So cool. So freaking cool.
Okay, what flavor do you want? We have blueberry lemonade, cranberry clementine.
Clementine.
So, kind of a busy week.
This has been a fantastic week.
Yeah, it's been like busy with a lot of business, but also kind of a lot of free time and time as a family, hanging out in the backyard.
We really struggle because it feels like when we're doing well in business, it's just like we're doing work 24/7. But, you know, the amount of business feels good. And then, you know, the opposite, when it's slow, we're like, just sitting around. This has been like, there's a lot of business and the pace has just been nice. I think it's just lucky, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. Probably won't last very long.
But it's been just such a nice week of working in the yard, doing work.
Kind of an exciting week. Last week we had a listing go pending, the little house in Burien.
Mm-hmm.
We got an offer, and there was a lot of negotiation. There was a lot of back and forth. It was a first-time home buyer is buying it, and you know, they're asking for a couple concessions, some work, some money, and we just went back and forth for like 2 days on what exactly all of that was going to look like.
Mm-hmm. And you know, at the price point of, I won't say what it's going to sell for. Should I say?
No, don't say yet.
Yeah. But at the price point that it's at, it's like these little things are, you know, a relatively large percent of the sales price. So like all this stuff, you know, you get more detailed kind of on that.
It was listed at $385, so you know, even just like $1,000 is a fairly large percentage.
But this is an epic story. Yeah. I haven't interacted with this guy client too much, but you have.
Yeah. Are we in focus? So I've been working with this, you know, kind of a younger single guy for over a year now. I helped him buy this house a year ago. It's actually 2 houses built in the 1940s on one lot.
How big was the lot-ish?
It's about 10,000 square feet, so it's a big lot. Both the houses are pretty small. One is a 1-bedroom, one is a 2-bedroom. And when I saw it, when we looked at it, I was like, oh, this is perfect candidate for a condoization project.
Yeah, so that's kind of like been a buzz thing here in Seattle. Condoization, what does that mean, Alex?
So this is mostly done with new construction where you know, you take the main house, you can do a detached accessory dwelling unit and an attached ADU, and then you can condoize the whole property and sell each of those houses separately. So you're not subdividing, you're just creating a condo association of 3 units, and then
So it's one lot with 3 individual homes on it. And it's kind of funny. Some of them you see, especially in the new builds, the rules, they may be a little more in depth than this, but basically the rules are just that 2 of them have to be attached. So you'll see like 2 separate houses attached by like
just like
a beam.
Or a beam.
Yeah, I mean, not even
very loosely.
Sometimes they don't even have shared walls. They're just like, and that's the attached dwelling unit. So like
it's a great situation, and it increases density in the city. You get a nice mix of housing. You get smaller, larger houses. It's nice.
But what you have to do to make this work is you create a little mini condo association, like Alex said. So for these new constructions, it's usually a little condo association of just 3. There's usually no HOA dues or anything like that. But in the case of this client...
Yeah, this is 2 houses built in the 1940s, and, you know, a lot of people would look at it and say, oh, why didn't you subdivide this? But, you know, there's a shared sewer line, there's a shared water line.
There's all sorts of reasons.
There's a whole lot of things that made it impossible to subdivide as is, and condoization was a great route to go. So we got an offer last week, and we're now officially pending.
It's the whole process. So like an attorney has to be involved for this guy, our client, to create the condo declaration and create a real condo association of 2. There will be no HOA dues or anything like that because they really don't have anything to do with each other except, like you mentioned, like this shared sewer line, really. And even then, plenty of single-family homes share sewer lines.
Oh, yeah. There's a perfect segue into the next house we'll talk about in a minute.
We'll seg into that. Seg. I've been saying seg. I thought it was like the European or French way to say segue. Because that's how it's spelled, S-E-G-U-E. I thought it was pretty sick.
I kind of was doing the cool breeze.
And I like caught myself saying it a few times. But what's kind of funky about this is that once that paperwork gets filed, this client now has a condo and not a single family home. Well, his loan on the original property is for a single family home, and lenders don't let you just change the type of housing because that's not what they originally lent on. So what could potentially happen, and probably would, I don't know how quickly, but what would probably happen is that his loan would be called due the moment it turns into, or at some point after.
As soon as that paperwork gets filed with the city.
Yeah, because he has a condo now. And so the really awesome thing about this story is that the idea is that the sale of this little property, the second home that he fixed up, is essentially going to pay off his entire mortgage, which is just so cool. I just think he put so much work in, but it's just so much going to pay off. But the timing is
he's living in the other one. He's gonna live for free. He's gonna fix it up, probably sell it eventually, but until then, free house.
But the timing's funky, right? So like you need the money to pay off the loan, but the loan's being called due because it's now you live in a condo instead of a single family home.
Yeah, it's a pretty tricky transaction.
So it's tricky, and you gotta have the attorney involved, and we'll see what other surprises come up, because it's kind of a new thing. Even it's new for the Seattle area, so it's been cool to be part of that process for you. I think you've learned a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of, I mentioned that like shared sewer.
Yes, shared sewer.
That's not unique to like condos or shared lots. That's like single family homes
all the time in these older like mid-century homes or 1920s homes all over the city. There's like two houses, maybe they have a driveway next to each other, or they look like they're completely separate, but the sewer line was built in a way that one feeds into the other before it goes into the street. I've seen it up to like 5 or 6 houses on one sewer line.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So this house that we're helping somebody buy, that we've talked about a couple times now, that we're helping to get some sewer repair and some sewer work done, is like this. And it's been really cool to work with the sewer company and learn a lot more about
good experience
sewer lines
this time around. You've done sewer repairs and replacements a number of times, and it's just always like kind of a headache. I would say that this one has been fairly smooth, but one thing that did kind of come up is we're planning to close on a Tuesday, and so the sewer company goes and knocks on the door of the neighbor, I think, is how it goes down. And they say, hey, we're gonna have to turn off your water for a couple hours. It sounded like it was probably 3 or 4 hours one day, because we're doing this work on your neighbor's house. Typically, that's not a big deal. In this case, they were like, no, that's not gonna work for us. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
So we had to delay work a little bit. And
it sounds like they had company in town, which is understandable that you don't want your water turned off.
It's another one of those random little things that can happen.
It doesn't seem like that big idea, but there's a chain of events, or like a domino effect that happens.
But it's really cool. We're getting a repair and a clean out built in so that they have access to this sewer line that was previously inaccessible. So we're adding this clean out, we're jetting out all of the roots, and then we're relining the sewer line, which is just like a flexible plastic tube that goes inside of the old concrete tube and hardens in place so that it patches any holes or any cracks, and pretty much future-proofs the whole sewer line for the next however long plastic lines
Until they develop a new product that they're like, oh, this is way better. Everyone's sewers need to be redone again.
But it was like $22,000 worth of work that we got the seller to pay for, so big win there. It's exciting. New stats were released because it's June. Exciting day.
So those are stats for May.
So these are stats from all of May, released from the multiple listing service. And I thought it was interesting that supply and demand had a huge spike upwards.
We feel that just on the streets.
Yeah.
Busier.
It's busier.
For us.
And I'm hearing from colleagues that they're busier, and it's just kind of everyone kind of feels this. But it was interesting that they both increased at pretty much the same amount. So I was comparing that to the median home price, and it wasn't really affected at all. Kind of still just a flat line for most of this year.
And we're still seeing, desirable homes are going over asking in multiple offers. We recently got a home under contract that it needs a lot of updating, but I think it was a desirable home in a desirable neighborhood. We got under contract at list price, and I think one of the reasons is that it was Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, and Aurora Borealis.
But yeah, the Northern Lights came out.
It was like a perfect storm of everyone was distracted, and we got this great house under contract.
So sometimes those things can kind of work in your favor. It's also why we never go on vacation during like the prime, typical vacation times. Us personally, which is totally fine. We go during the cheaper off season, but it's like we're usually, not always. Sometimes there's special things that come up, but we're usually like hanging around on Thanksgiving and even like New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, because if we have an active buyer, especially, it's time to sneak in there.
What else is going on? Let's see. We had a closing last week.
The one that we were worried about.
Yes.
Why were we worried?
New construction, we were worried about the rate expiring and having a big fee.
The builder kept pushing out the closing date because it wasn't done yet.
This has actually happened before. We put in one of the extensions that we would close before Thursday or sooner. The title company and the lender kind of just decided that all the paperwork was in. So they're like, okay, we're closing now. And both buyer and seller were kind of caught off guards and like, oh, we're closing today.
We did put that in, because this happened before, it's not like you didn't think it through. You did put that language in on purpose because of this specific situation where we're kind of running out of time. So we really did want it to happen as soon as possible.
It did work in our favor.
Worked in your favor, but it is kind of weird. This is probably like, it's like we said, it's happened once or twice where it's like, oh,
it's just like this.
Your buyer's closed. We should have known that was gonna happen.
Huge chain of communication. There's a lot of parties involved in a real estate transaction, and sometimes the word doesn't get around.
And to the important people like you.
Yeah.
So you're like, hey, you're closed. Want to meet for keys?
But I mean, it's good. We did a blue tape walkthrough with the builder.
What's a blue tape walkthrough?
Blue tape walkthrough is always exciting. We walk around with blue tape and just mark paint scuffs and scratches and say, can you fix this? Can you fix this? And, the builder is usually incentivized to do so because they want to put out a good product.
You mentioned that you particularly liked this builder.
Yeah.
What makes you like or not like a builder?
He was just very proud of his work, and you could tell that he was kind of small time, probably wasn't working on a whole lot of projects. This was like his baby. He was talking about how like he personally was going through and touch-up painting.
Well, and a lot of times new construction doesn't come with a washer dryer, but Alex always tries to negotiate that in. And he said that he was the one that went down to Home Depot to pick out the washer dryers.
Yeah, and he was super helpful, explained everything. Usually these walkthroughs with the builder last for like an hour, 45 minutes if it's fast. This one lasted for an hour 45. He was just walking through. I actually learned a lot of really cool things about drainage work. This is like super boring, but I think it's fascinating. The city has a lot of requirements, and part of the delay actually it turned out because they were like changing things halfway through the process on this builder.
To meet requirements. The city was changing things?
Yeah, so he was a little frustrated. But it's so cool. All of the water that hits the property can't leave it except if it's been filtered. So there's like this filtration system. It hits the roof, it goes down into the gutters, it's multiple stages of filtration.
Why is filtering important?
So that polluted water doesn't go into the Puget Sound.
Oh.
So it goes through plants, it goes through like an actual filter. It was way more complex than I ever thought. And there's like tanks underground. Apparently it's like every new construction townhouse is required to do all of these things.
Well, it's like most or all new construction around here is, you look for different like green certifications. They're mostly 4-star built green, I believe. Oftentimes they will not be. It's the really fancy one.
LEED.
LEED, L-E-E-D.
Yeah.
That's
more for like commercial construction.
Oh, or like high-end
I think, yeah.
Fancy, eco-friendly residential.
Like high-end
luxury,
residential.
Yeah. But typically around here it's just like a baseline that they're going to be 4-star built green, which means a whole bunch of things, but that's probably one of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is not like a particularly transaction-related thing. I don't know if people are actually interested in our business, like the behind-the-scenes stuff. But like, we've been feeling really busy this spring, but there's been a little bit of a shift. We do. Alex does so much on YouTube. He's so good at video. So a lot of you all meet him through YouTube. We've kind of had a shift in the past year or so to a lot more referrals from past clients and friends and family, and that has meant so much to us. I mean, it's really how you build a business in real estate that can last. But even so, when it happens, it's just like, wow.
Yeah, it means a lot. Like it means that people have enjoyed working with us, and we really appreciate it. So thank you.
Yeah, one of the homes with the sewer that we mentioned, the sewer excitement, not a referral, but friends of how many years? College, since we were 18,
20,
college friends. And it's kind of like,
years.
It still feels like a really big deal that they do choose to work with us. It's like, It is cool, and it's really cool to be able to help them into a new home with their family. So, so thank you.
Yeah, and like I have, I think 4 sets of parents of clients that are coming to town in the next couple of weeks, and I'm super excited about this. I love being like the family realtor, get to know everybody, and it's really fun.
So it seems like a lot has been happening, but like we mentioned at the beginning, it's just been a really nice pace. So you've been basically living in the backyard. This is the first time I've seen you in days, because you've just been like in the far reaches of the backyard.
We have strawberries. We have a whole bunch of vegetables. I built this table.
I'm sure you'll take the opportunity to B-roll show all of it.
Oh yeah. We had a fence blow down in the windstorm the last couple days, so there's another project to do. So if you're thinking about making a home in Seattle, send us a message and let's work together.
Bye.
Bye.